it's James Tim Mitchell. Happy Monday to you all. I am here about to film the latest Oracle Outlook video reading for the week ahead. I'm filming this early Monday morning. It is January the 12th, 2025. And if you're new here, I'd like to say welcome. And if you're a returning viewer and visitor, I'd like to say welcome back. So a number of you reached out to me sharing that you would like to see the cards on the table rather than me holding them up. So I listened and I responded. So here we are with the cards on the table, and I am about to shuffle the deck and lay the cards out. The deck that I am using for this week's reading is once again the Kipper of Himm. This is a deck I made for myself in 2023. And I have been using it a lot lately because at the top of the month, I did what I call the Kipper-Cast for January 2025, and I used this deck. And as the days go on, I continue to see things that were shared in that particular reading unfolding. So I am more inclined to work with it when I see things taking place with a deck or a reading that I've done in the past. So here we are. If you haven't seen that Kipper-Cast and you would like to, I will leave a link to it in the description box below. So as I said, I'm about to shuffle the cards, so let's get into it. When I do these general readings, I usually just ask for the information, the advice, the guidance that is going to be most helpful and beneficial as we move through the course of the week ahead. So that's my intention. I'm shuffling that into the cards. I think I'll do one more time. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck. Now I'm going to fan the cards out. And then what I do from here is I pick 5 cards in the fan that are getting my attention. Alright, and we have the 5 cards there, so I'm going to pick the remainder up. And now I'm going to lay them out in a line in the order that they were selected. So this is card 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright. And what I'll do is I'll start reading the cards from left to right. But if you're no stranger to Kipper or this deck in particular, the narration could shift and change based on directional cues in the cards. Okay, so starting with the card on the left, we have Good Lady. So this is a person card because in my deck I have color-coded the borders, and the people cards are color-coded with a purple border. So Good Lady represents an older woman. So in the story of Kipper, the way the Kipper system works is that all of us, myself, and each one of you viewing would be considered the main character in the story. So we would either be main person 1 if you are male or male presenting, or main person 2 if you are female or female presenting. So Good Lady would be someone older than us. So this could be a mother or some other type of maternal figure. This could be a female authority figure. So that could be like a boss, supervisor, manager, something like that. Could be an older sibling, older cousin, any woman who would be older than us. So she's as a directional cue. She would be, for me, she's leaning this way. So if we were to go like a line of sight, this would be the cards that would be behind her. But I'm just going to focus on the fact that she can represent an older woman or older person in authority. She could also represent, playing on the idea of old, she could also represent something having to do with the past. But that is good lady. Typically, she would be somebody who is helpful to the main character in the story, so that would be either you and I, unless, like, false person would be the next card. If she's closer to false person, then she would represent somebody who's insincere or not as helpful as we would like. So that is good lady. So we'll see how the other cards line up with that. So the next card in is letter. So letter is a card of good news, because there is a card in the deck called sad news. So this card would represent communication. So looking at the two cards, it would be some sort of communication or correspondence with an older lady. Now, letter can be all forms of communication in this system. So this could be phone calls, emails, text messages, could be a literal letter in the mail. It could be a post on social media, because letters were sent in the post. So this could be any kind of social media post, right? So it could be that. Now, I would say possibly the idea that this would come from a woman, because it is behind her. Usually if it was in front of her, she would be receiving the message, but if it's behind her, she would be the one sending it. So there may be some sort of communication or correspondence from an older woman. Now, it could also be something having to do with the past. Again, playing on the idea that older could represent like an ex or something from the past, something like that. So now the next card. Here we have child. So we have another person card. So here we have now, it could be news or messages pertaining to a child, or it could be a new message if you don't have a child, right? Like, for instance, the last time this card showed up in a reading, I did not have a child. And I still don't. I just realized how I said that. And I still don't. So this could just be maybe a new correspondence, or it could be correspondence that is being maybe sent again because of the child card. So there may be something about communication, like old communication being sent again. If it's not about a person, like if we just take maybe the theme of the good lady and the theme of the child, it could be like, with this being the focal point between the two cards, this could be maybe correspondence that is new, but it could be also correspondence about a child. So that's what I'm seeing here with this right now. And then, okay, so now we have a little bit of more context. Now we have the main person card. So now we have main person one. So now if I go back, good lady would be someone connected to main person one. So now if you are male watching this video, the main person one card would be you, or if you're male presenting. If you are a woman watching this video, then the main person one card would be a man who is significant either in your life or in the situation that's being presented through the cards. Now, he is facing this way. So now this is a line of sight read for the man. So this could be, again, now he's facing child. So this could be a child that he has, or a child that he is in relationship with, or something that is new and beginning and starting for him. And then there's correspondence, there's news. Now, letter being a positive card would suggest that it's positive news. And then here we have good lady. So there's a connection with a child and an older woman. So again, this could be his mother, which would make the child, if he has a child, the grandchild. So there's something going on possibly between a man, his mother, and a child. Or, like I said, it's the start of something, the beginning of something, has to do with communication, something being communicated, and then that would be between him and an older woman. So this could be a sibling, older sister, a cousin, mother, grandmother, somebody older than him. Or it could even be, again, if she is not a relation, a familial relation, then it would be maybe an older authority figure. And it could also even be that a man is seeking the help and assistance of his mother, or someone older in his family, an older woman, help with a child. and that's being communicated, discussed, talked about. Okay, so now if this is line of sight, then this would be a card that's behind him. So now this could be an element of the past, or since we're doing a reading for the week ahead, then this would be a card that would be considered inauspicious placement, which means that it would be a challenge for him. He's facing all of this, so this is what he's willing to take on or willing to face, but this might be a challenge because it's behind him. So let's take a look at that card. And here we have expectations. Okay, so we have cause and effect here, right? Because the yellow border for me represents cause and effect. So this is about a need or a desire or an expectation or anticipation, right? The woman on the card is looking at main person one. So this is really about his needs, his wants, his desires, what he is anticipating, right? That may be a challenge for him, again, because it's behind him. But now if we do cause and effect, so then this is the effect. Like there's going to be some sort of expectation possibly being placed on a man, right? Because he's being affected by it, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the cards over because I am always curious when we have this card. So let me slide the cards over so hopefully I can get the next card that I'm going to place behind expectations into the view. Maybe see if I could pull back a little bit. There we go. All right, so now remember, this is an anticipation, need, desire, and expectation that is going to affect the man. It's going to have some sort of effect on the man because going with cause and effect. Okay, so now I'm going to see what the cause is. That's why I pulled back. So I have the deck on hand. I'm going to shuffle. Stop there. I'm going to go ahead and cut the cards again. Now I'm looking at the fan to pick a card. Put it right there. Okay, so now the card we have selected, or I have selected, is Family Room. Okay, so now here we have a card that talks about privacy, talks about intimacy because it's in close quarters. So this is actually a room in a larger space. So this would be the cause. So there's something about privacy, intimacy, right? That's the cause of the expectation, the need, the desire, the anticipation. It's going to affect a man. So there's something happened in the man's past. Now, again, if we do line of sight, this is the past. So possibly something in his past, maybe something he wanted to keep private. And there was an expectation of privacy, right? But now it's going to affect a man. It may have to do either with a child or something new that's beginning or starting to unfold. There's going to be communication regarding it. And then at the end of the line, this way, we have an older woman who is going to be helpful, or she's going to be somehow a part of the situation, right? She's going to be part of the communication, part of the discussion. So that is how I'm reading the cards. At this point, I will put in my disclaimer. I have a feeling that this is not going to resonate with everyone who lands on the video. And so my intention with continuing to work with Kipper especially is for the Kipper people in my audience who have asked me to continue to showcase or present more Kipper related content, and this will be a part of my Kipper cards by category playlist. I did that some time ago, and then I was asked by the Kipper people in my audience to continue that series. So I'm thinking for them in particular that this is going to be somewhat, I hope, helpful in their Kipper cartomancy practice, so they could see how the cards interact with each other, especially with directional changes and directional cues, like with expectations and the main person one showing up in the reading, right? Because the people cards, the purple colored cards, and the red colored cards, which are stock cards, don't have any directional cues, so the narration shifts and changes with cards like these. So again, as I always say, for those of you watching who are maybe not Kipper people, but were interested in the reading to see how it unfolded, take what resonates and then discard the rest. And on that note, I'm signing out. This is James M. Mitchell. Thank you for sharing this space with me for this week's Oracle Outlook video reading, and I look forward to seeing you in this space when we unfold a reading with another deck, or possibly this deck again, in the near future. So take care, be well, and have a great day and a great week.